Digimon Adventure 1999 is about seven children that get isekai, basically sent to a different world, into the digital world full of digital monsters called Digimon. The original goal is to find a way home, but soon develop the desire to protect it instead. Each child gets a partner Digimon they befriend, and together they do their best to survive in the harsh, unfamiliar world. Constantly referred as a Pokemon ripoff because it came out later and both have Mon in their names. Digimon manages to create its own identity with its setting and how the monsters have more dimensions compared to Pokemon. Digimon differentiates themselves having more than four evolutionary lines and split evolutions path based on the conditions they evolve, whereas the show explores it only once. Another thing is being digital monsters, their evolutions don't reflect the design of the creatures they were originally based on, and each evolution being more advanced than the previous one, sometimes even mechanically. Despite being a low budget show and having a simple story, Digimon was pretty enjoyable. It has a good cast of characters and a good Digimon selection. Like Tamers, they address some character issues, but not on the same level. The group dynamic is good, but not as good as Tamers because the larger cast of characters. Villains in Adventure are the most mediocre since they are pretty much one-dimensional like Dragon Ball villains, with Devimon being the blandest. So there's one exception in Puppetmon who is surprisingly deep and thoughtfully written. The main appeal of Digimon Adventures is its protagonist, meaning the kids and its Digimons. It can appear as impossible considering there are 7 children and 7 unique Digimon, increasing the size of protagonists to at least 14. Over the course of the series, each child's strengths and weaknesses get explored. Now we have Taichi, aka Tai, who is considered the leader of the group and tries his best to make progress in the group, even coming up with strategies to handle the bad guys. However, not every plan is well thought out and backfires, which leads to disagreements in the group, disagreements on, and even fights. Most often he speaks his mind without taking others' feelings into consideration. His partner Agumon is usually always in favor of him and one of the strongest members in the group. Also in terms of evolutions, his design is the most appealing, as his child state or rookie state. He appears like a small dinosaur who turns into a bigger one in his adult form, champion state. But what makes him real appealing is his later states, where he becomes a cyborg dinosaur or a humanoid dragon with a shield and huge weapons meant to kill Digimon with the Dramon surface, a surname. Yamato or Matt is the older brother of Takeru, aka TK, and can be considered second in command. He is the one who questions Tai the most often, and which leads to them fighting most of the time. While he isn't much of a strategist, he always considers the feelings of others. The biggest weakness is a lack of self-esteem, especially when he gets the feeling that he isn't needed, especially by his brother. His partner Gabumon encourages him most often and is the closest friend he has. Even when he knows that what Matt does is wrong, he is willing to help him since he can't abandon him. Of all people. He and Agumon are the strongest Digimon in the group, who always gets the next evolutions the earliest. Returning from a lizard bearing a few to a fire-breathing dog into a werewolf. His final form is a mechanized version of his adult state. Sora is considered the mother of the group, who tries to keep everyone together and often feels like one of the weakest members in terms of usefulness. Especially when the bar for accomplishing the goal is too high, she loses confidence in herself. Her partner Biomon is a bird-like creature who loves her. She often plays the motherly figure role for her, helping her with her mental problems and regain confidence. Sometimes to see things from a different perspective. Being a bird-like creature, her evolutions reflects that. Koshiro or Izzy is a nerd of the group and lacks the ability to socialize himself with others, leading to awkward situations. However, he is the most useful member as he is skilled with tech and can uncover the secrets of the digital world they are trapped in. While his desire to know everything can be a strength, it can also be a weakness. His Digimon Tentomon is a bug Digimon and can be considered more of an assistant to him, helping him out but warning him when things get dire. Since Izzy can be too focused on what he's working on, his evolutions are based on bugs. Mimi is very selfish and self-centered and often complains about everything. Her strength is her sincerity, which is sadly also a weakness when hurting the feelings of others. Over the course of the story, she becomes more understanding of the feelings of Digimon. Her desire also increases to protect them. Her partner Digimon, Palmon, or plant-like Digimon, has to comfort her most often, but there are situations where she helps Mimi to understand, but she is doing it wrong. Her adult stage is a cactus with boxing gloves, and her final stage is a fairy that comes from the flower that grows from the cactus. Joe or Joey is the oldest member of the group, while he lacks the commanding skills and can't get the respect of others. He is one of that can be relied on the most. Even when he's scared, or doesn't want to feel any pain, he is willing to risk his life to protect the younger ones than him showing. While he is um while he's covered, he is still the most reliable. His partner Digimon and Skomamon are steel-like creatures with a goofy personality. Often they have a comedic routine together. He helps Joe to take things not too serious. He often helps out when traveling over water with his friends, which are fishes, or his first evolution Ikakumon are giant walrus. His next evolution is a mixture of a walrus, turtle, and some other animals with a huge hammer. Takeru is the youngest member at the start and Yamato's younger brother. He is the least experienced and the show has him go through a character arc of growing up and becoming more self-reliant. His partner Patamon, which is a hamster-like creature, often plays the role of someone who looks after him, but struggles through the lack of power and experience. However, he has the most potential in the group and his power are the most useful against evil Digimon. And when going by Digimon lore, which doesn't play a role in this story, his final form is equivalent to the Archangel of the Digimon world. The show shines in developing these wildly different kids, since each of them have unique character issues not mentioned in this review. In later story arcs, the relationship of the families get explored, where they will get introduced to another member to the group. Issues like divorce, families, adoption, and living up to family expectation get explored in the story, which by today's standards sound like an impossible task with the size of characters the story has. As a show where monsters fight each other, Digimon fight styles aren't really impressive. However, just seeing the different forms and the emotional struggles needed to achieve the forms are usually worth it, where the lack of good choreography can be looked past. There's a reason why many evolutions, especially the first ones, will stay with you. As the show progresses, the fights and the budget improve. There will be a lot of recycled animation, and the evolution into from child to adult states seem rather lame. But when the show goes to the later, more final stages, the transformation stages, the transformation sequences jump in quality. There's a use of CGI for certain evolutions, which normally would be a turn-off, but since Digimon are digital creatures, the evolution seems tolerable, and gives the show its unique identity, as many later Digimon series will adopt these evolution scenes. Now, while Digimon is a kids show, it can be off-putting or flat out scares the viewer as it goes on, since the enemies are deviant and scary. The first major antagonist is literally a devil, later a toy monkey, but after that there's a vampire who kills people on screen and turns into a devil too. One of the final antagonists is literally an evil clone. While the story does have the reincarnation for Digimon, then doesn't apply for those who die outside of the digital world or for humans. The most Digimon has mostly bland villains, simple story, primitive fights, and lackluster animation. However, the protagonists are the heart and souls of the series. Their issues and their strength, as well as their interaction with their families, friends, and with each other, is what allowed Digimon to gain its massive following.